What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet. The brother who told you not to be a butter biscuit eating bootlick, but you did it anyway, and now your ass has become the laughing stock of the internet. And I am black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So I have noticed very recently that there have been a lot of videos being very critical of what I have newly dubbed the special ed side of the black conservative movement. So this is not your average run-of-the-mill black conservatives, some of the ones that can come off a little bit more intelligent, like Thomas Sowell or even Candace Owens. I'm talking about the ones that, have been basically like the black token buddy in a lot of their white friend circles. So people like the Hodge twins, Stephen Knight, and Brandon Tatum. Like there have been a lot of videos coming out lately of those fools being either exposed or just criticized, right? And the main culprit to this exposure is the YouTube channel Abba and Preach. I've noticed that since they have decided to do videos about just the buffooning and the buck dancing of people like the Hodge twins and Stephen Knight, that a lot of other people have picked up on that, and they're either doing reaction videos or they're doing their own content where they're being critical of these people. Even people like what's his name, O'Shea Duke Jackson, also has been doing videos where he's been criticizing people like the Hodge twins and Stephen Knight and Brandon Tatum. So it's picked up a lot in a lot of the black circles on social media and a lot of black reactors and whatnot. People have been giving their 2 cents. And what's interesting is, now you have a lot of black people coming out of the woodworks and criticizing these clowns, and that's what they are. These fools are clowns, and it's almost very interesting that, these particular ones that I'm talking about kind of look alike. They're always these, kind of light-skinned black people they always have like the American baseball cap or some sort of American paraphernalia going on. And the other thing that bonds them together is they spew a lot of conservative talking points, a lot of old school ones where it tears down the black community. But you can tell that these guys really don't have a true understanding of what they're saying. They're just regurgitating stuff. They don't really truly understand what they're talking about. And because of the very recent videos by people like Abba and Preach and O'Shea Duke Jackson, you see that a lot of these guys are just not too bright. I've said this before, that a lot of these Negroes who claim conservative are not the sharpest knives in the drawer. A lot of them are missing a few marbles upstairs. Some of them might have just been jocks or meatheads. So a lot of them are not really thinkers. They just follow. And whatever shiny object you can throw in front of them, that's what they'll concentrate on. So for a lot of them, they don't have a true understanding of politics. They don't have a true understanding of ideologies. They're just falling behind whoever seems more popular to them. And right now, the MAGA mutant mindset is popular. So they have become the MAGA minstrels for the Trump administration and all that bigoted, hateful ideology that swarms all over the internet like vermin, right? So, these guys are now starting to get some backlash. And it's funny to me because these are people I have criticized for the longest time. Like if you go look on my channel, and I will post the links so you can see that 2 and 3 years ago, I was making videos about the Hodge twins. Like I actually did a video exposing them, talking about, because they made this video where they were basically saying like why they decided to leave, quote unquote, the Democratic Party and become Republicans. And I exposed that as a bunch of BS. I'll let you go watch the video for yourself. But to surmise the video, I'll just say they basically made it seem like their family were lifelong Democrats or whatever, and then just, they listened to a few things and all of a sudden they decided to switch. The truth is, these fools, basically, they used to do videos where they were just your average run-of-the-mill buffoon on social media, where they were making all types of crass jokes and doing reactions and stuff like that, and trying to do like workout channels and whatnot. And that failed, right? That didn't go through. And YouTube started changing its algorithm. YouTube started changing its policies. So they couldn't make certain jokes anymore. So they basically just hopped on the MAGA train, right? And, when they did that, they basically garnered a very large white audience who gets off on and enjoys seeing black or black looking or black appearing people tearing down the black community. And that's all the Hodge twins do. They have no integrity, they have no true thought, and it's shown by just the basic hypocrisy of their channel. Like they make just as many, if not more, of those extremely ignorant black jokes and N-word jokes than a white bigot would. They do it more than your average redneck, right? So just based on that, on their social media and, what they like to say on their YouTube channel and then their live appearances, because these clowns do live appearances too, they basically cater to a white bigot audience. Now, since they've been exposed, they are trying to backpedal and say, like, hey, listen, we don't hate black people. We just don't like N-words. Like they basically tried the whole Chris Rock comedy routine, which I exposed that as well, where they're basically saying there's a difference between N-words and black people. And once again, that's not true. All right. Even that comedy sketch, the only reason white people love that is they get off on being able to say the N-word, because to them, all black people are the N-word. They don't make a distinction as to who's ignorant and who's not. All right. And the Hodge twins are the same way. They don't make a distinction. They come out all the time and tear down black people. Right. And the same can be said for people like Stevie Knight, who I've also exposed on this channel years ago, where I talked about him and this Asian man putting on their superhero capes to come out and save white people. They're going to save white people from the evil black racist out there. And I exposed just how buffoonish that fool was, right? And very recently, he had a debate with ABBA from ABBA and Preach, where they were basically, I guess trying to pretend that there's even some merit to debate as to what Charlie Kirk was saying. And it was quickly proven and quickly shown that Stevie Knight has really no real mind or no real opinion on these types of things. He's just kind of going along with the conservative mindset because that's who his audience is, right? Like you can tell that he was basically just kind of spitting out platitudes and kind of just dug his toes into the ground and stuck his head in the ground and basically just said, I'm just going to stand on this. And, I have no real thought or any opinions on things, because ABBA was trying to, give him different ideas and scenarios. And Stevie Knight just remained rigid as if his brain was calcified. Like he couldn't do any type of real thinking outside of what he has been told and the things that he has been ingrained with as to how to think by these conservatives out here. So, once again, exposed for being a buffoon, exposed for being a big dummy, right? And the same thing goes for the Hodge twins, and the same thing goes for Brandon Tatum. These people aren't that bright, and it goes beyond just the way they talk, because I don't want to make it seem as if, maybe some of the accents that they have based on where they're from, I don't want to make that seem as if they're dumb because of that. No, they're dumb because they don't really have any type of real ideas. Once again, many of them are just regurgitating. And you could add a couple of other people into this equation as well that are just like these fools. People like Tyrone Magnus, that's another one, but he leans more onto like the pop culture side of this nonsense. You can tell Tyrone Magnus also does not have any true mind about this stuff. He's just going along with his bigoted conservative audience, and he responds the same way that they would to anything that they see in pop culture. It's really sad when I see Tyrone Magnus sniggling and giggling and laughing like a hyena every time he reacts to like the Critical Drinker or one of these other online movie critics slash bigots that appear on social media. It's pathetic, right? Young Ripper is another one. Eric July, he's another one of these clowns, but like once again, he's also more in the pop culture area. But a lot of these guys are the same. Like once again, I put them in the special ed side of black conservatism. These guys were the glue eaters, or maybe they took some blows to the head when whatever sports they played, and they're just not too bright. Not too bright at all. And they're usually the happy-go-lucky Negro who wants to be accepted by the larger white society. Like that's where they want to be. That's where they're the happiest at. They're always grinning ear to ear when they're around white people, and they always got an attitude, or they're always disgusted when they're around any black people, right? They always have something negative to say about other black people. So, like I said, it's interesting that a lot of these clowns are being exposed now. And I guess I can give props to ABBA and Preach for, because they have a larger platform for exposing these guys, even though I'm not 100% on their side either. Like I've called them out for some of their bootlicking every now and again. They try to bootlick on the side of we're just being fair, quote unquote, and we're trying to keep things middle of the road. But when they do that, sometimes they just basically hop over the fence and wind up hopping on the coon train themselves. And we have to be careful because those fools their families and their heritage is not from America. So they have a different viewpoint, and a lot of them were raised with a very different mindset. So be careful of them. All right. So that's all I wanted to talk about, folks. And you folks can let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. I would love to hear your opinions on this video. Anyway, Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on a devil's back.